one.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, just gentlemen, because you all are great guys. It's the 10 Guys One Pod podcast. Your host, Dexter Michelle Abeda, alongside Parker's got a pretty Johnson.
I'm fairly certain you did that one already.
I did
I
not do
like it.
pretty. Did I do pretty? I'll be real pissed because I thought about this one hard and I wanted to
Dude,
actually talk to you about it.
don't you worry about it for 1 second. I know how much effort you put into these nicknames, and I think I like that in general. It's very flattering. Thank you, Dexter.
Well, I want to discuss how I came up with this one because it is very simple. The way I thought about it, which is weird that this happened, because I thought about, like, when you see babies and you're like, that's an ugly baby. That's just
Yeah.
a baby looking baby. That's a
hmm
pretty cute baby. Like that's same with cocks. Like there's ugly cocks. Like mine's not ugly, but mine's definitely not pretty. It is just a penis. You got a nice, like, you should send dick pics. Like girls should be like, "Ooh, that's a PC, pretty cock."
I'm officially never sending this podcast to my mother again. It was already decided, but now it's been doubly decided.
Yeah. I won't. Also, I don't want to send it to my mother because I don't want her hearing me talk about your pretty cock, and then she's thinking about your pretty cock.
I'm sure your mother would love pictures of my pretty cock.
I
Uh, th-
wouldn't blame her.
Yeah, she's a nice lady, which is actually a segue into this is a thematic episode, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, by that I mean gentlemen. Um, so we kind of realized that Dex and I realized that we've been pretty stressed lately, and we've been coming down on some hard times, and we realized that through talking about those things that our periods have synced up through doing this podcast, and so we're both in a rough mood right now. We're very very sensitive to things strike us to our core. So we decided that this podcast is going to be a safe space, safe place podcast with good feelings only towards everybody in the league because we love you all.
Well done. I honestly couldn't have said it better, Parker. I
Thank you.
love the way you put that out there.
I
So as you
appreciate
guys
that.
know, so
For the record, the timbre in your voice is fantastic today.
oh god, timber. Yes, I tried. So I'm happy Parker got to listen to the last podcast, just so he could see how well he articulates himself and the way he speaks, and it goes fluently. It's very difficult, and I appreciate that about him. But this podcast, as he said, safe space, safe place. We will be just talking about facts and little things like that. With that, though, we are
Oh,
going to start with some next gen stats.
yes. This is Parker's fun fact time. Hashtag next gen stats. Um, Dexter,
Yeah.
uh, I got a question for you. How many quarterbacks in the NFL have rushed for more yards than David Johnson?
Oh, more quarterbacks that have rushed than more. All right. So Cam Newton's one. I don't think Deshaun Watson has. What? So four? I'm just making a number up because I'm sure there's some games I didn't watch.
It's three. It's three. And I
Wow.
don't actually know which quarterbacks they are, but I do know that David Johnson is posting for 116 rushing yards right now.
That's not a lot. And the only reason I guessed four was because I could only think of one. And I was like, all right, so he wouldn't have brought this question up if it wasn't more than like one or two. So
Yeah, it's
that's
true.
crazy to think that David Johnson, it sucks. It really does. We're watching a very talented running back play on a very shitty team right now. And as not a Cardinals fan, but as an Arizona fan, I like it when the community has a team they can get behind because there are a lot of fair weather fans here.
It's so rare for all of Arizona to actually get behind a team and give a shit about sports for a long time. All right, next stat. Could you guess which three teams have the smallest percentage of receptions uh, by a wide receiver? So if running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends all take a piece of the reception percentage, which teams give the least amount of receptions to their wide receivers? Uh,
Oh.
the three teams I'm looking at right now average 36% of their receptions are taken by wide receivers.
So I know last year it was the thinking. What's that word when like your computer's thinking and it's just like spinning the wheel? That's my head.
You're
The
probably
Chiefs.
thinking of
The
buffering.
Chiefs. Yes, buffering. Exactly what I was thinking. The Chiefs did very bad at throwing to wide receivers, and I know they went like almost a year without a wide receiver having a touchdown. So,
Hmm.
but Patrick Mahomes is flipping that ball everywhere.
Hmm.
Travis Kelsey is getting a lot of them, but he puts a lot out there. Who has the least to? Honestly, the Denver Broncos, um, the Giants, and not the Seahawks. Their tight ends not getting shit. I don't know. I only got two.
All right. That was a fantastic try. The effort was beautiful. You got none of those right though. Uh,
Yeah, boy.
the
A for
three
effort.
teams are the Eagles, the Redskins, and the Patriots.
So I thought about the Patriots, but I was like, I'm not sure. I guess Gronk, but yeah, their wide
Yeah,
receivers are
Gronk
bad.
takes up a lot.
Alec,
It's not. Yeah, go ahead.
well, the Redskins should have been my number one pick because Alex Smith is there now, and that's just what he's known for.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Eagles. I guess that one's hard because they just got their quarterback back.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I got two more stats. We'll try to run through this a little quicker. Which team has the highest amount of quarterback completions? Just like raw number.
Completions.
Yeah.
The Falcons.
No, it's the Saints with 104.
Okay. Well, I was thinking because Drew Brees has been going off.
Yeah. Yeah, he has been. And finally, so if I were to like name a quarterback and say that, the question is which quarterback has the most consistent production week in, week out? And so that I mean like say he throws like for raw yardage. So say he throws for like 100 yards, 105 yards, 102 yards. That would be very consistent production. Which quarterback is the number one most consistent?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He's actually number two, very close. Number one is actually Dak Prescott
Which
with
the opposite side though.
yeah, he's rocking 170, 160, and then 168. Very
uh,
close.
the only reason I said Fitzpatrick, I know he's thrown for 400 plus every game.
Yep, yeah, he's averaging about 410 or so.
That's crazy too. The Fitz
So that's been
magic.
Parker's fun fact stat time, boys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I put it all together in the last half an hour. It's been a rough week, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, this was a quick one. Like we say, we're gonna put more work in every week, but then life happens.
Yeah.
So real quick, we're gonna do this. Should make you laugh, and just you all know my father and the piece of shit he is. So my brother reminded me of this story today, and I thought it was hilarious. So my brother's a senior in high school. Their state fair comes by, and he's going with his buddy and his buddy's girlfriend. And so since my brother's not the third wheel, she invites a friend, and they all meet at my dad's place because everyone just hung out there because he let them drink and do whatever they want. So my brother and his buddy are there. The first girl, which is the girlfriend, walks in, and then the second girl walks in. My dad walks up to my brother and hands him $60 more and says, "If you're paying for food, you're gonna need this much." And it's just like, fuck, you're a piece of shit, man.
Fuck, your dad's funny.
Yeah.
Was she there to hear that? Did she witness this?
She was in the other room, but he like leaned in and told her that like, here's an extra $60 if you're paying for food. You're gonna need it.
That's amazing.
is
Dude,
fucked
$60
up.
can get you a long way at the fair too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had already given him 40. He gave my
You can
brother
get
$100 for food.
You can get a lot of deep fried churros with that. Are churros already deep fried, by the way?
I think so.
Okay.
What was
Or are they just like
No, they have to be deep
baked
fried.
cinnamon sticks sort of thing?
I'm pretty sure they're deep fried, but honestly, I'm not a churro guy.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest.
But it's
Fan
like
favorite, but not for me.
it's like one of those things. Again, it's like, oh, should we get churro? It's like when I went with Brad. He got a churro. I got a hot dog. Like I'm just gonna get more
Yeah,
meat.
see, you're like me. You're a savory over sweet guy.
Yes.
Yeah, Amber's ruining my life with all these sweets in the house, man. I've been putting down so many freaking M&Ms you never seen.
What kind are they? Peanut or regular?
No, regular M&Ms.
Okay.
Though I did get some dark chocolate Reese's
Oh.
peanut butter cups. That's way better than the original.
I don't know how Mike would do it every single day when we lived together. He would eat like 1 or 2 Reese's Pieces, the little ones, but that's it. Just 1 or 2. And I'm like, fuck, you got self control like no other. Like I would be
Wow.
hand deep into those every day.
Yeah, I try to clear out all the bad food in the house as quickly as possible so I don't have to deal with it anymore. So I'll just try to eat it all in like one day. That way I can feel like garbage that day and the next day I'll feel good.
It's smart. It's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
it's
those,
nice when you don't have like an infinite supply of junk food through a girlfriend.
what's your favorite junk food she's brought to your life?
Junk food?
Yeah, like something you eat consistently now.
Pizza. I didn't eat pizza consistently before. It was like a treat, and now I eat it all the time. I know it's a cop out, but
No, that's pizza's good. And you didn't.
pizza.
I feel like when we lived together, it was like drunk time we'd order pizza, but not like as an
Right.
actual meal.
Yeah, now it's like it's all the time really.
Am I on the right spot? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, boys, this has been fun. Oh, I guess I see you're drinking a Corona right now.
Yeah, yeah,
That
I am.
bottle's the same shape. We had a couple bets last week, and they did not go in your favor.
No, not at all. I honestly, the odds of me getting all of that wrong and the players doing as poorly as they did on my team that did it just ev- everything last week was a surprise, and I'm glad I got all of it out of the way.
What was the biggest surprise? Like, say you're like, I know I'm not going to get all of them. I guarantee I'm going to win this matchup for you.
What was our bets? It was me versus Paul,
Dex versus Miller, Dustin versus
Dex
Brad.
versus Miller, Dustin versus Brad. I'd say Dustin versus Brad was the biggest surprise.
And they.
I don't know. Miller popping off was really surprising too,
He didn't
and I
pop
mean that
off.
in the nicest way
I
possible.
beat Miller.
Oh, Jesus, I know nothing. I can be mean to myself,
Miller
right? That
scored
was
really low. That's what happened.
okay. That's not surprising. Like, can I say this?
Paul popped off. Brad's
Yeah,
team scored 126, which is great.
Brad once again had like the highest points on his bench.
I think he had second highest, but yes, which is good. I'm happy because now Brad just got to figure out the consistency on who to play each week, things like that.
And the trades from other people that he should accept. Wink, wink.
People are not trading this year. It's or any year, and I told it because I know some other people trying to make trades, and they've told me like the offers they've gotten or what they're offering people, and I'm like that. I think that's fair. I don't think that's fair, but like no matter what, they're just not taking them. Everyone is so scared that you're going to get screwed over or lose out on something. I offered you a
Everyone,
trade and you didn't take it.
yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I
Tyler
didn't like
Lockett
it.
for Marshawn Lynch.
That was in like week 2.
Yeah.
No, I still don't like
I,
that too
I
much.
wouldn't offer it
Unfortunately,
now because Tyler Lockett's killing it.
he's
For
doing
me.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. That's the ice recap segment.
That was quick.
It sucked. You still have 2 ices to do today.
Yeah,
Huh?
I told Miller to go buy him right now because he's got to do a large one. I got to do a large one, and then I got to do Paul's small one, which really sucks.
Are you gonna do them both?
If he brings them today, otherwise I got to do them tomorrow before the games start.
I'll be honest. Taking 3 little ones like at my leisure was actually kind of nice. I just didn't drink water all day, and then I let them get a little bit warm, and then I was like kind of like looking forward to them, and then I just like watched football and played Halo all day. It's pretty relaxing, I guess.
That lukewarm or room temperature is perfect for downing an ice with whatever that much sugar, I guess. What hurts
Yeah,
when you do those cold?
the
Oh
carbonation.
yeah, there you go. Dud Dex.
I know because I have a medical condition.
How are you doing with that? Or how those Tums? Because you said you bought some of those chewy.
Oh my
Tums.
god! Whoever brought Gas X to the draft,
Tums
he changed
Gas
my
X,
life.
yeah.
Yeah, you changed me and Amber's life. She's very thankful. I can eat Chipotle again. I can binge on pizza again, and I can get laid in the same night, which was not something that was achievable before.
Oh, that's cool. You're
Yeah,
like, do I want to have sex or should I eat pizza? Which
that was the real decision before.
sometimes that's a hard one because, like, if you're really hungry, I'm like, I can't even think about having sex right now.
It's like imagine like getting banged by a giant whoopee cushion. That just every time there was impact, just a little more of that air flowed on out.
How often?
That's what it was like pre Gas X.
How many times did you make her laugh from a fart during sex?
0 times.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
It's never funny during sex.
What'd you just do? Oh God, that is. I would laugh. I would laugh so hard. All right, that's great. Enough about Parker's sex life. All right, let's go into week 3 matchups. Oh, we talked about it just now. Miller 96, Dex 127. Miller did leave a lot of points on the bench. He started the right players from what the first 2 weeks what we saw. But
Mhm.
he got killed by his wide receivers. Didn't do well for him. Again, I don't really think this is his fault. If you were after the first 2 weeks, you would say he started the right players. But
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar did nothing for him. Austin Hooper wasn't much. Stephon Diggs was probably the biggest like upset of 3.7 points.
Quick anecdote. So Amber's in the Yahoo League, and I think this is funny because I did this like 2 or 3 years ago before I started getting learnt. But she regularly calls Stefan Diggs because you know how you usually just see like S Diggs. She's like Steven Diggs, Stanley Diggs.
The widest names ever.
It's like none of those. It's Stefan.
Miller's kicker got more points than his wide receiver 2, tight end, flex 1, and flex 2.
Wow. Is this Saquon Barkley's most high scoring game, by the way?
I
20.2
believe so.
points? Yeah,
He did
it
well,
is by point four. He
which
outscored
he's
his week
doing
one.
better than I thought he was going
He's
to.
got a good floor, man.
Yeah.
He's a talented boy.
Yeah, and his offensive line's not great, which shows even more for him. And then
Yeah.
I had a pretty good week. Leonard Fournette not playing and Doug Baldwin hurts. They both now have potentially could play this week. I don't think I'll start Doug Baldwin yet. Leonard Fournette if he's in, which will be great for me.
Yeah. Are you going to start Tyler Lockett if Doug Baldwin's back?
I'll start Tyler Lockett until Doug Baldwin takes over, and I feel like
Yeah.
he's getting more, but
Basically, ride it till he has a bad week.
I feel like it's going to be a lot like the Golden Tate Marvin Jones, which sucks for me, where Golden Tate's the younger version of Marvin Jones and more athletic, but Marvin Jones
Mhm.
gets those big time touchdowns.
Yeah. By the way, quick or side note: what games do you actually like? What teams do you love watching play that you've developed through watching fantasy football? So for me, it's the Lions. I actually really like watching them play, mostly because like not because I'm a fan. Because if I'm a fan, it would suck probably, but because they're always like down, like they're routinely down. And they're constantly just slinging throws, and I always get to cross my fingers and hope Golden Tate gets it. Like I draft that guy because I like watching them play.
Uh,
What about you?
well, the Texans were fun when you had them last year. This year, I've watched a lot of their games. They haven't been as fun. It's a lot of late game plays.
Mhm.
But Aaron Rodgers just never ceases to amaze me. Like just watching the crazy shit he does, like because he always has like 4 or 5 plays throughout the game. We are like he physically shouldn't be able to do that. And Cam Newton, the Panthers, even on defense, Luke Kuechly's a monster middle
Mhm.
linebacker, and like linebackers are the greatest athletes out there. It's just fun to watch guys like literally run into other guys going full speed.
Yo, what position is linebacker? Are they good at scoring fantasy points?
Yes, so many fantasy points.
Dude, did you see? I only read this, so I can't confirm it or deny it. But I heard that they took Andrew Luck out to throw a Hail Mary pass because he doesn't have the arm
Yeah,
anymore.
that's actually not a crazy thing. A lot of teams have done it. When the Broncos had
But he
Peyton,
but he used to be able to sling before
yeah,
his
well, it's
shoulder surgery, right? Like he could have made that.
exactly. I think I talked about a preseason podcast. That he doesn't have the same zip, so he's still athletic, lower body, and makes smart decisions. But that's it. But like Peyton Manning at the end of his career, even before Brock Osweiler was the starter, or the year that Peyton Manning was horrible, they had like some Hail Mary plays where they brought in Brock Osweiler's rookie year because he could outthrow anyone. He just always threw it to
Mm-hmm.
the other team.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on to the lovely Parker Paul. Paul, like, I don't really feel bad because you did the same thing to me, plus 20 points, but Paul dropped a bomb on you. 141
Yeah.
is no joke. That's 2 weeks in a row. Paul's really got something going there.
Wasn't last week his down
Last
week?
week was his down week. Did not do well. I think he was like 103 or something.
108.
Okay.
It was 108.
Yeah, so wasn't great, but like 2 140 plus weeks is scary if that becomes consistent. Uh,
Hey, do you know who else has two 140 plus weeks? By the way,
the
never mind. My week one was
okay, I was
136.
gonna say,
Damn it.
well, regardless, the unluckiest guy in the league. You, you have not had things have not been going your way. Matchups.
No. And I hate that I have to like play my strategy a little different right now too, because I would love to be the 3-0 that I deserve and be able to play strategy X, but I got to play strategy Y instead because of my. It's not fun right now.
So we're sitting on a lot of these topics for a while, but I want to bring this up. So I feel very comfortable at 1-2, even though like kind of like you, I should be 2-1, but like that's only one off. So that's nothing crazy. You're 1-2
Mhm.
right now, should be 3-0, and that's per the average of the league scoring and what you've scored each week.
I'd be comfortable losing this last week. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. I scored 115. If I was playing, I would have. Everybody in every matchup, there was someone that scored more than me, at least one.
Yeah, you
This
only
last
would have
week.
lost to Dustin and Miller.
Yeah, or I only
Only
would have beat
beat
Dustin
Dustin
and
Miller,
Miller.
yes.
So yeah, I kind of dropped a pretty big egg overall. By the way, as a side note, this is the first week that we've had two 90-point or under 100-point scorers.
I didn't even notice that. Oh yeah, Miller and Dustin. Um, it is nice though. I saw you have Marshawn starting this week. He's kind of coming into his own in that crazy
Yep.
Oakland. I think he's gonna be good for you, especially as a
Hmm.
flex. So that'll be nice. But man, it when I said Drew Brees, when is he gonna fall off? It's not this year.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh my God.
Paul has a
It. I had
quarterback.
quarterback envy.
Yeah.
I had quarterback envy after that game for real.
What was it? 40 points he scored. 40.5.
Yeah. I'm usually pretty comfortable just streaming quarterbacks and getting like 18 to 23-point games. It's usually what you get off of like playing the streamers, right? But man, like I'm yeah, it's not fun right now. Russell Wilson having his bad time.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there altogether.
I really think he's going to come back. He's going to pop off this week against Arizona. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I picked up Arizona D, but we can talk about that later. All right,
Yeah.
let's Brad's first win. Me too, buddy. We did it together. 126 over Dustin's 99. Brad, is he our dark horse of the league?
Yeah, I'd say so. Most bench points.
2 weeks now.
He would have won a lot of matchups if he would have won his previous two matchups,
If
right? If he actually like
he would have started players correct last week. If he would have had Cam Newton in, he would have won for sure. And the week before, he would have lost that one because we didn't know what a lot of players were. So
yeah, you
he
just
could
start who you
easily be at
drafted.
2-1 right now.
Yep. Man.
Dustin had everyone besides his quarterback and his RB1 and RB2. They all scored below 10. 10 points. That's really bad.
Yeah.
I know how he feels. That was week 1.
And Disley with the 0.9.
Yeah, his tight end situation's not good. But Adrian Peterson, wow, what year is this?
I'm so surprised by that.
Right?
Honestly. He did just get that questionable tag put on him though, sprained an ankle
Yeah,
during the
I
game.
hate questionable because 90% of the time they don't mean anything, but this year it feels like every week you're like, well, is he going to start or not? Because they're making everyone
Yeah.
questionable. Like Dalvin Cook's not playing this week. It was just said that
Yep, everyone's questionable, and I feel like the information on players and if they're actually going to play is so sparse for a lot of players too.
Yes. All right. Next on Mike versus Gabe. Gabe with I said, Gabe, you killed Fitzmagic. I can't tell. He had a lot of picks. He didn't win the game, but man, did he come back at the end and help you.
Yeah.
That was definitely a barn burner till the end.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan's 40 points really helped Mike, but overall his team underperformed, especially when your quarterback's going to give you 20 plus more than you're used to.
Yeah, and what a week for Ridley as well on the Falcons.
Oh,
It's like I don't remember like how long it's been since it's happened, but 3 touchdown receptions for a wide receiver it's been a while, is what I understand. Like maybe a decade since that's happened the last time.
well, it's crazy too because we all went after him, and it's interesting.
Wait, there's no way that stat that I said is correct.
I don't want to say anything because there's Antonio Brown's had
I would.
those.
Yeah, I don't know why I said
But
that.
regardless, it's still a good like stat. Like it's not.
Oh, he did not do poor whatsoever.
No, and now he's on Paul's team, which Paul's bench is becoming nastier and nastier.
Yeah.
Uh,
Paul's acquiring so much talent. It's pretty impressive, honestly.
and we'll talk about how much fab he has left, and it makes me sad how much he actually has for the talent he's already picked up this year. But like we talked before,
Yeah.
that's what Paul does. Paul makes the best decisions from um, free agency every year, but he also puts in more work than all of us, which is why he's Paul and I'm Dr. Champ's bitch.
Yep.
All right. Oh, Gabe. Yeah, we'll see if Fitzmagic's going to keep going.
He has a hard matchup this week.
The Bears defense good, and also I still don't know what's going to happen when Jameis Winston comes back.
They said
Played
that
though.
he's not going to be starting
All right.
at least today.
Well, yeah. So, well, they have this week, and he can come. He comes back after this week, but they have a bye next week, so they have 2 weeks. So if Fitzmagic plays poorly, I think he's out, and they'll put Jameis Winston in.
I think so too. It's so interesting that he started off that game so bad. I was just thinking to myself, like, all right, this is for sure. He's literally throwing to get his like, I'm startable. Like I'm a good backup payday. And then just like now that Jameis Winston's going to be back next week, he's going to throw this game. But he actually came back. It was pretty impressive.
So I wrote the wrong score, just changed it, but
It changes everything.
Yeah. The second barn burner, which was even closer till the very end, Charlie Daniel. Mike Evans really came through for Charlie with that last minute touchdown. I don't remember how much time was on the clock, but we were under 5 minutes to put Charlie ahead of Daniel. And Daniel was sitting at 116. I think his games were over for the 1 o'clock games.
Damn, that's depressing to have your games over by 1 o'clock.
Well, not to take away from those guys, real quick, Tom Brady only had 7.5 points, which was pretty bad. So
dude, that's terrible.
Yeah, but Brad's this past week, all of his games were the 10 a.m. Sunday. He was done after those.
Wow, that sucks. That's like not fun at all, in my opinion.
He had to wait for Dustin's team to play and even that where Dustin had 3 players left, down by 70, or it might have been 50. Something like that. I was like, well, he's got Antonio Brown, who could put up 30 to 40. So you could still lose this one, which was crazy. But yeah, he pulled it off. But I was like, man, I've never seen someone have their entire team done at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I've never seen that either. Speaking of which, by the way, I didn't get to watch a lot of football this Sunday because like the NFL's Piracy Strike Force just took everything down for the 10 a.m. games. So I just kind of like gave up for the day and didn't get to watch a lot of football. It's pretty depressing, man.
You should try and find a NFL Red Zone stream.
I should do that. They were shutting down everything. Last year when I had the 2 TVs set up, I loved watching like Fantasy Zone, which is like Red Zone, but they talk about fantasy stats instead of football. Yeah. Anyways, I hope they don't do that again, man.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty. Why does the man got to take away our free entertainment?
Well, it's like because if you pay for it, it's still a pain in the ass to actually watch a freaking game.
Yeah.
Like I bought Sunday Ticket last year, and I still didn't get to watch a ton of games that I wanted to watch, and a lot of games that I like. Even the games that I was allowed to see with the Game Pass was like blackout or like it didn't work.
I had to stream the Broncos game off of Reddit because they had it blacked out, which pisses me off. Like
me too.
Oh God, fuck you, NFL.
It's like, you want to know the actual reason why viewership is down? It's because it's a pain in the ass to watch fucking football.
I love football though. And
the product doesn't work.
Take so much from me. All right, we've been sitting here enough on that shit. We're gonna jump into how much fab left for each person. I'm gonna run through it real quick. Parker, you tell me your thoughts. Daniel, $95, Mike, 84, Miller, 82, Brad, 80, Parker, 77, Dex, 74, Charlie, 73, Paul, 70, Gabe, 68, and Dustin at the bottom with 44.
I'm not surprised to see Gabe with such little fab this early in the year, but I am way surprised that Dustin has even less. And I don't. Do you remember what the big spending was on that?
For Dustin?
Yeah. What got him to 44 so quick?
That he bids $15 on every person he picks up, no matter how important or not important they are.
He just falls in a lot of love for every player.
You get $15. You get $15.
Other than that, like everything else seems pretty like standard. I don't know what the burn down is, but I'm sure that value decreases as the season goes on. So, what I got 77. I wouldn't be honestly. I wouldn't be like too sad even if I had like in the mid 60s right now.
What's
Like
Dustin's fantasy name?
he changes it every week.
I don't even.
Which
He's at 44, and he didn't even.
great play by the way, Dustin. I'm not hating on that whatsoever. This is a safe place. You can change your team name as many times as you want. Unless you're Dex, then you're stuck with Dr. Champ's bitch.
Uh,
But it does make it hard to find you. And I'm thinking you're doing this on purpose now. Krispy
oh
Kreme.
yeah,
What is this? 2017.
he spent $10. Yeah, he spent a lot of on people right away. $21 on Peyton Barber.
Is he still? Yeah, he still is on his team, on his bench.
That one will hurt. And then he spent $15 on Eric Ebron.
Ah, the $15 tight end play. I learned from that last year.
Tight ends are fickle, very fickle guys.
Yeah, tight end is such a crap position. I'd almost rather take away tight ends before I take away kickers, honestly.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I got no other thoughts on the fab.
Me neither.
It looks like it's burning down pretty appropriately. Though Paul did ball out this week on Ridley, and I once again had the free agency hangover.
So did I. I was hoping you'd bring it up this morning. I was like, I didn't know it was going to be that high because I missed out on two people I went after. Both.
Who was the other one?
Charlie picking up Jordy Nelson, which Charlie and I have both had him and both dropped him.
That's funny.
Yeah, so now there he is. And I was like, fuck, finally him and Derek Carr link up while no one has them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
let's
get into week 4 pick'em.
Dustin Gabe.
That's a toughie. I gotta look at the matchup for this one.
We're pulling it up, boys. Dustin Gabe. I got the preview up.
Okay.
Dustin's got a plus 8.2. Is Gabe missing someone? Oh, no. Gabe's got the plus 8.2 over. So Gabe's projected 121. Dustin's 112.
Kamara at the Giants. Fitzpatrick at Chicago. Bilal Powell at Jacksonville. Marvin Jones against Dallas. Will Fuller against Indiana. Dude, I honestly don't say this very often because it's hard to figure it out in like 2 seconds. But I think Gabe's players have some pretty sour matchups this week.
Yeah, LaShawn McCoy scares me. I'm glad he's got Alex Collins in because he didn't start him last week. But like we don't know because he fractured a rib. So running and getting hit, is scary.
I mean, he could even if he does start, he could. That's the injury that could legitimately he could be in for 2 plays and just be taken out.
The problem with Dustin's team is when you have Aaron Rodgers, Antonio Brown, and Tyreek Hill, those 3 combined can get you 100 plus.
Yeah.
So
Dustin's team is like the definition of boom or bust this year.
Yes, very much. I'm sorry, Gabe. I'm going with Dustin.
Yeah, I'm going.
But
with
I
Dustin
do
as well
like your team, Gabe.
Yeah, it's shaping up. I love the Will Fuller, by the way.
Yeah, that's nice.
And Marvin Jones has his days.
Him and Golden Tate go back and forth. Charlie and Mike, second pick.
Let's see. Matt Ryan at Cincinnati versus Patrick Mahomes at Denver. How do you think the Kansas City Denver game is going to go?
I think we're going to – so biasy on the table. Denver's going to win 24-21. We're going to only win because we're going to have a pick 6 and like a punt fumble that we recover. There's going to be things that are going to go our way. Patrick Mahomes is unreal, but he's slinging that ball, and we have the best corners he's played yet. And our defensive line's the best he's played yet. So I feel like he hasn't had that full-on speed that we're going to bring. But he's good, very good. But I do see him making mistakes. But with that being said, I'm not starting the Denver D this week because he's playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. I think I got to go with this is hard because I don't know the status of Mikey's questionable players because he has 4 in right now.
I'm pretty sure Dalvin Cook is out.
You think so?
Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
If Cook's out,
fantasy updates.
If Cook's out, he puts in Tariq Cohen.
Nope, he's questionable only. Yeah.
because he's got no other running backs.
So as of right now,
Mike's running the 4 running back strategy, one suspended. Power to you, buddy.
I'm gonna go with Mike, with Dalvin Cook in, only because of matchups, and I'm only saying that because Denver's supposed to stop Patrick Mahomes.
I'm gonna go with if Mike's player, I'm gonna go with Mike. It's weird. I don't like Charlie's team that much, to be honest.
I love his team. I'm just biased
Really?
right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Mike on this one. I don't feel good about it, but I'm gonna go Mike on this one.
All right.
Who's next?
Probably the matchup of the year, Brad versus Paul. You laugh, but Brad's projected to win, just like he was last week.
Damn, son. This would be amazing. I'm gonna go with Paul anyways.
All right, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
Sorry, I will have to. I don't like David Johnson against Seattle. Oh, but Drew Brees against Giants. I'm going Paul also.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
smart play.
Sorry, Brad. I really wanted to. I wanted to bad, buddy.
Miller versus Parker. I'm going me on this one by a long shot.
You guys are projected very close. James fucking Conner. Your wide receivers are filthy.
Marshawn. Yeah, I love my wide receiver core.
Miller's team. I'm going with you too. Robert Woods and Jarvis Landry. We don't know enough to get from them. Robert Woods pops off, but
he's playing Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota, eh? And then, my last.
Tex versus Daniel.
Fun. So he's got Devontae Freeman in, which we don't know if he's playing, but I also have Leonard Fournette in, who we don't know if he's playing. I'm going me. I don't even know why I was talking. I'll let you do the rest.
I'm going Daniel.
Oh, 2 in a row. We'll go with that. You were wrong last week, so I'm gonna.
You want ice on it this week?
I do.
A little ice.
All right.
Just for fun. We got to spice up this a little bit.
It's been a boring podcast.
Wait. Oh, you picked faulty. Never mind. Yeah. All right. Well, ice bet on that one. That'll be fun.
Are we supposed to talk about anything else?
No, that's it. We usually sign out in a special way, but today's a safe space. So I'm going to go with I want to fuck Daniel.
I also want to fuck you, Daniel.
I want to fuck Daniel.
I would also like to fuck Daniel.